Ladies and gentlemen, okay, I'm not doing Kane voice anymore. How's it going, everybody? It's your boy Roar. We're here to check out 5 amazing digital circus songs, starting with another Cougar oh my gosh, McDowell song called "Dead in My Head," related to the Chess alternate universe, and A Little Bad, and Who's Running the Show, a jazz version of it. And There's No Exit, and I forgot what one of the other songs was, but obviously you guys see the title, you know what's going on here. I'm trying a new setup here. I have my headphones actually plugged into my user interface, which is nice, but I did all these songs already, and it didn't record any of the audio because of source issues. So we have that now. It'll also be better if I'm just running through it like this, because I kind of rambled a bit on the last time that I did this video. Not like you guys haven't seen that before, but I think this will be a lot more fun. I did take a little bit of a break after I realized that nothing recorded, so I've, pretty much forgotten all of it. So let's just jump into this. This is Dead in My Head.
One look, one wish. If you could have it all, would you take it? Dead in my head, in my head, in my head, dead in my head, in my head, in my head. Once you go, there's no world to know we are. Dead in my head, in my head, in my head.
So, okay, first of all, with the audio here, I really liked how, because I guess this is the abstracted version, but I haven't heard any of the other ones. I don't know where the other versions are, if there are any. The fact that the audio just stays this very simple, crooning, very soft, brooding synth beat, and then we basically have 1 or 2 lines from each person, and then we go back to "Dead in my head," I think's really cool. I think it's very, very cool. It really encapsulates just how in limbo everything is. There's no real structure. Everything's falling apart. I feel like that works. Normally I'm kind of a stickler of the structure of a song, but this one's really, really good. So the fact those two had their verse and then it went back to this. Stuck here forever, eternally me. So the fact too that allows these voices to just be so bland. Stuck here forever, eternally me. Not like that's a bad thing. I think the lack of emphasis is just speaking volumes to what's going on. We're upset. We're so drained from what's happened. We're just we're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Oh God, when is something bad gonna happen? I'm waiting. Is it a virtual?
It's not a game. It's everything.
Ugh.
A king to God. Don't pretend like you forgot.
Lost too many friends. Can't corrupt your head again.
If this should be great, I might disassociate. Yeah, it must be great. I might disassociate.
So I really kind of like it how Ribbit's character is very much exactly like Jack's, where she. It's weird to say, but as someone who's dealt with depression, when you feel like you are just pressured by everyone around you to be someone you're not, and you don't feel like you can be yourself, and that's what's pressuring you to be like, I can't do this anymore, you almost feel like literally the smoking gun that you have is you can choose when to get out. So there's always that thought of like, I'm already not interested in being here. I'm already disinterested in doing all of that. I can leave anytime I want. So in the meanwhile, I can act like I don't care about any of this, when really I do care a lot. Yeah. And the fact, too, that for a song like this, you have a moment where Kinger goes, "It's not a game." And then it ramps up to Kane going, "It's everything." And then it dials it back immediately. I feel like that just makes this song all the more amazing, because it's like they drop you right in the middle of the conflict. I don't know very many songs that they're like, boop, here's everyone complaining about something. You got to figure out what's going on. Normally there's build up. There's letting the audience know what's going on. But the fact they just drop it in is a very unique approach.
Once you go, there's no world to know. We are dead in my head, in my head, in my head. Falling in a desert wonderland. A pattern in a world you won't understand. I am dead in my head.
And the fact it all gets more glitchy here at the end is very cool. Ooh. And I had no idea there's still all these other songs left to cover. Like I'll Never Forget You. I didn't know this was another song they made. Okay, so now these guys, they're doing a jazz cover of The One Who's Running the Show. I'm going to say this because as someone who was a drummer and I've been in music videos before, sometimes, especially if you're playing live, but you pre-recorded the song, which these guys did, obviously you're going to be miming what you're doing a little bit, but you can't always go for huge, especially with the drums, because the drums are always loud, okay? So I just say that because I know there's going to be a couple people that might look at the drums at a couple points and go, it sounds like he's not really playing what we're hearing. I actually mentioned it in a comment. I hope that Matt didn't take offense to it because I was genuinely curious. I think these guys are all fantastic, as you will see, but I asked about it and he was just like, yeah, sometimes I think it was just an editing issue. It looks like it's kind of going a little late for what you see him play. And, you know, he's not going to be able to play as loud as what he did in the studio because he's going to be louder than everybody here if he's playing that loud. So I respect that they're respecting the space. They look dapper. They're going to sound amazing. Let's just jump into it.
It's news to me that it's news to you. To which degree, who answers to who? We could go on and on, but in the end, who are we kidding? My divinity is past infinity. Am I getting through?
I also love to, with any good jazz performer, well, any singer in general, but especially jazz, I feel like there's so much more animation you can add, you know, doing a few different visuals and like, you know, playing it up. You know, you're a singer, so all you have to hold is the mic and you can move around however you want. And I think also, just like a drummer spinning their sticks while they're playing, if you really know what you're doing as a singer, you can really move around and add some pizzazz, and that's not going to conflict with you being able to deliver the singing. So
Seems our regime has plummeted south. Don't need to scream if you ain't got a mouth. Why bite the hand that feeds when it's the only hand you're getting? It's time you see that this great marquee is the only place you're ever gonna be. So
I love his voice.
strap on in and take it on the chin, and don't forget who's running the show.
So, okay, so first of all, I love how he was doing that animation of like, so strap on in and take it on the chin. You know, it's fun. It's very fun. It makes me think of a lot of big band stuff, a lot of olden time stuff where you're really just pizzazz. Also, if you noticed when the drummer was hitting the crash there right at the end, it didn't look like he hit very hard. I believe he actually played this in the studio, okay? It's just, again, when you're playing live, you gotta tone it down. You cannot hit as loud as you want when you're a drummer because that's going to be the only thing people are going to hear down the hall. And in this hotel, which they look great for visually, but then also for, you know, even lyrically with like this great marquee. It's not a circus, but it's a very lavish area. You gotta, you know, be considerate of everyone around. So that's all I'm saying.
Now look at this. Absolute bliss. Oh, what a shock. Watch where you walk.
See, more animation right there.
I'm the host.
I think also, I'll just say, they did the drummer dirty by going, now look at this. And then it cuts to him and he's not playing, very big, or, from what it seemed with the editing, with the camera work, not on time. So they did him dirty with that. I would have gladly had the camera like zoom right in on the bell of the saxophone or something, or up and down the strings of the upright bass. That would have been really cool. Maybe you'd be like, now look at this, or something. Still, it's very cool. And these guys are obviously very talented. Not going to take that away. It's just a minor thing with, the visuals, or the camera work. But
Watch where you walk. I'm the host, I run the place. Kane, that is my name. Not enthused, just feeling used. Oh, what a goddamn shame.
I also like how when he said, unlike the original song where he goes, oh, what a goddamn shame, and then it just cuts and then goes to the next part, the beat switch. Here, he goes, oh, what a goddamn shame, ba-ba. So one of the few things that I can understand with jazz music is when the vocalist sort of pulls control of the beat and the timing. So he is choosing that tempo. Oh, what a goddamn shame, ba-ba. So I think that's really, really cool. It's very nice.
Oh, what a goddamn shame. Congratulations, all of my friends. Public relations are getting a cleanse. Put on your Sunday best, because I'm nowhere close to quitting. So play the games and just ignore the pains, because all that remains is how you prime your brains. You whine to me, but you're too blind to see that I'm the one who's running the show.
So, I also want to mention, they had a version of Abstraction, which was a TADC fan song. So these incredible guys are doing covers of fan songs. Beautiful stuff. I love that. This is what I love about the internet, when people choose to give a damn and support each other. Also, right there at the end, the drummer was rolling the snare, and then he hit that crash. He did. He wasn't going crazy for it, but also playing the snare at the end of that head, on the edge of the drum head, not the ends, the edge of the drum head, that makes it even quieter. So again, these guys are trying to do this, in a very soft, gentle way, and I respect them for that. Anyway, let's move on. So this is from Kitten Sneezes as well. Their song, A Little Bit Bad, which a few of you guys suggested I check out, so that is what we're here to do. We're going to jump ahead because this is the, intro screen.
Listen, all I'm saying is, if Zubal's head wasn't meant to be used as a football, then why can it pop off and be thrown around so easily?
What the hell? How did you even grab me so fast?
Does torturing people really make things that much better for you?
Yeah, kinda.
I do like how he always has to say, well, kinda, oh, well, there's the possibility that maybe I don't like it. Who am I kidding? I like it. But it also makes me think of one of my favorite scenes from Zootopia where Judy is like, she said something like, do you do this to people so you can feel better about yourself? And Nick goes, absolutely, 100%. just plays into it, just pisses her off.
Howdy doodly do, my little buttered up bungalows. Are you ready for our brand new exciting adventure today?
Fuck off.
I didn't know you had canine teeth.
This time.
5 hours, and I've relished every glorious minute. All 300 of them.
Kane, if you don't handle him, I...
Whoa!
That's so him to be like,
whoa! Cowboys. I'm sure there's a non-violent solution to all your interpersonal conflicts. Aha! I've got it! This next adventure will be a Jackson Pomney exclusive one.
Great, more
Yay.
reason for the freaks to ship us.
Ship us to where?
We're gonna do...
So that's the one issue I took with this initial skit here. Pomney was on some form of YouTube doing urban exploration videos. If you saw her talk about her content that she made when they were in the bar, I forgot what episode it was. But if she's been on the internet like that, I mean, obviously making urban exploration videos doesn't equate to shipping, but you're on the internet. You're going to see stuff. I just was surprised that she had to be like, ship us to where? What are you talking about? But obviously, you know, I get that that's playing off of Kane being the only one aware of the viewer, quote unquote. So.
Great, more reason for the freaks to ship us.
Ship us to where?
We're gonna do a kooky, crazy, personality swap-a-roo adventure.
I do love that part of his voice when he, like, just the character of losing your charisma. You're like, we're gonna do a crazy, awesome switcheroo Rudy. Okay, like, I just love that. I just love his, also the, oh God, what is it? Making himself smaller when he's freaking out like he doesn't know what to do.
Crazy, personality swap-a-roo
The swapperoo!
What?
So funny.
What's going on?
Oh no, he's cute.
Why are you all looking at me like that? Why am I suddenly very concerned about what everyone thinks about me?
You have had your mental faculties eroded, and you now have anxiety. Woo! Your brain doesn't produce as much dopamine, and now cortisol is just passing on through like an open border, and you are just gonna suffer from that. Welcome to the program. Hope you can ask Kane for some Ritalin.
Aw. Don't be upset. I got a little pie to help cheer you.
Why did it sound like... Okay, I didn't even hear this the last time. It sounded like she said, "Cope, be upset." Anyway, really like the design choices here. And as people have probably noticed when you've seen this song already, I love how much art they have of these guys. They already feel like very lived-in characters, very fleshed out, characters. Anyway.
You up?
I'm not an idiot. You seriously think I'm gonna fall for the old pie in the face gag?
I still hate that thing.
Listen, I know I'm a prankster when I'm my usual self, but you're downright evil like this. What gives?
And I think this is an aspect of his character that I don't find problematic or like counterintuitive with how he normally is. Because yes, at first I hated his character when he came out because I just thought, you're an asshole that just likes being an asshole. To heck with you. But when you realize how, in a lot of ways, it's thinly veiled, how much he's trying to be upset and whatever, and you see that he's just hurt like everybody else. It's that aspect where I believe he can very well have some, some real reflection and go, okay, yeah, I know I do stuff, but what gives? This is different. I'm coming at this from my own perspective, but you seem like you're 2 steps further. What's going on?
Do you know that feeling of a bright and sunny day? Well, that's the feeling that I get when I tell a kid they can't play. Your butterflies, my poison spiders, your rainbows, my haze. You're a technicolor dream, and I'm a nightmare in black and gray. That it feels so.
I love the higher pitched voice here, but also the bit of squeakiness. You're the You're the technicolor dream, and I'm a nightmare in black and gray. I love that. It's so good. Also, I bet in terms of the mixing and stuff, it really makes it cut through because you're not going to any of those lower, more open tones. You're very much in the higher pitched, squeaky, avenue. So it cuts through. Okay, so I absolutely love the animation here, especially for that, we have the sort of, quick movement of the animation, but then we have the very relaxed, flowing walk that she has. I don't know why, but I don't want to go back. Yeah, so I really, really liked that. This art style is fantastic. Absolutely love it. And the little redirection, the little red herring of dropping the rubber ducky on you and then dropping the piano. Total Jack's move. So I love how it's flipped like that.
I don't know what's so great about spreading suffering and hate, but I know there is no debate on the smiles you could help to make.
Okay, so the fact that he immediately feels bad about what he's doing, and he's like, I don't know what's so great about spreading lies and hate. I don't know, bro. You've been doing that for however many years. Think about your own brain for half a second. But I think that does show how there is some facets of anxiety and things like that, him worrying about what other people might think about him, that is now new to him. So now he's having to think like, yeah, I'm not just thinking about myself. I'm anxious about other people and other situations. So that, you know, in one way or another can give you some empathy, like, or at least you want to stay away from anything that could cause continued frustration for you. So you're like, well, I don't want to spread hate because that's going to make people not like me. So I love that. I love that. The immediate understanding of what's going on.
But I know there is no debate on the smiles you could help to make.
And also when he said, but there's no debate on the smiles that you could help make. That is something that most people on the internet don't understand for whatever reason. Remember back when on YouTube, it used to be a huge statement of collaboration to drive to someone's house, collabing with a creator right there. Before we have all the avenues that we do now with streaming and like screen sharing and all that stuff, you can collaborate anywhere in the world, i.e. VTubers doing a lot of collaboration all across different states or across the world. It used to be something a lot more people were looking forward to. Now, I feel like while that's still the case, it's kind of taken a different form lately over the last few years. And there's definitely a lot of people out there that truly find it more worth your time to just complain and criticize everything. But really, if we want to actually better our world, we have to collaborate. It's not, and that's why I have such a distaste for people who are just hateful. I don't care if you find it funny. I don't care how bad your life is and you think the only thing that'll bring you joy is criticizing someone else. If you ever have a complaint about how the world's going, yet you enjoy other people being upset or making fun of other people and profiting off of that, like with a YouTube channel, I don't want to hear you complain about anything then, because you've already given up. If you're sitting there thinking, well, I'm just going to, I think it's so funny when someone who doesn't even know who Iron Mouse is says, get off your iPad. What are you doing being a grown woman acting like an anime girl? Bro, shut the hell up then. You don't have any right to complain about stuff when you are openly validating the lowest common denominator of what it would take to help make the world better. That's all I'm saying about that. And we get that meme reference. Very nice voice. Yeah. I don't know how many voices they have on the chorus. I mean, you get the horns that are like, ba, 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 but it sounds like there's 4 voices on there, which just makes it sound all the more robust. And also, what good villain song? Come on, 90s kids. Come on, I know you're out there in the comments. Comment below 90s if you've been there. What 90s like Disney movie doesn't have a villain song that's huge? Come on. I love this art, by the way. It's so cute. I want all of these as stickers. Bad on my birthday? That's so mean. Ooh, okay. So I really like that at the very beginning, Pomni drops the act for a second and glares at him and goes, I don't care. It's like, like any villain where you have half a moment of solidarity and you're like, what are you doing? And they're like, I don't care. Anyway, back to what we're doing with me messing with your life. It's it's so great to see just that little bit of humanity come back in for a second, and you see the vitriol where they're like, you do so much to me all the time. I'm not going to act like I'm going to make this easy on you. It's good stuff. And then she doubles down and gets even more into it. It's good. Love this. So cool. Loved it. Very, very cool.
Okay, they are both infinitely more terrible like this. Time to swap back.
What? I'm my usual self again.
Ooh. That was right across the solar plexus.
Wow! Clean up on aisle U.
He just floats away. Oh, I forgot that's where they throw in the credits. That's funny. So I didn't recognize any of the vocalists there. That was really cool, though. I really, really enjoyed that. I hope you guys support these guys. This is really, really neat. There was something else I was going to say. I forgot. Probably doesn't matter. Let's go on to the next one. I think this is the last one.
I don't get it, Bubble. I do everything in my power.
Oh, yeah, the reprise for Artist Block. A few of you guys check this out. You also need to go to the link in the description and check out the Artist Block cover. I forgot who the gentleman was that made it. My brain is just scrambled a little bit. But he did an incredible cover of Artist Block, and you need to go support him. So, anyway, let's check out this reprise.
We're to keep them happy and together, and it just seems like they don't want to participate.
Maybe
Oh, I think there's one more after this. There's no exit was the last one.
That can't be true.
Or maybe they realize
That face is spooky. That could be an ARG like horror thing right there.
when you're constantly running into these blocks.
Artist Block. How can I fix it all? I've given everything I can, but couldn't stop the fall. This worthless AI's lost his way. How can he find his peace as every human has a problem that is breaking into pieces?
So, first of all, it's super spooky. I hate this visual with Kane where he's just like, ugh. And the fact is, head being down, I don't know if I thought about this with the 8th episode, but with his head being down and his eyes being underneath it, it totally makes me think of a hoodie, like an oversized hood, and you're just there looking all angsty, you know, or just ready to rip some stuff apart. I also liked how we didn't just pitch down the chorus or something. I mean, maybe we did with the lead, but you could hear the brum, 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 brum. That's synth. It actually, you know, it didn't sound like they just took the instrumental and they're like, okay, we're going to pitch it down and then we're going to sing over it. They actually recreated it, which was cool. And the fact that we have a similar vocal flow, but they changed one of the things that I really liked with the wordplay here. Not that it's a bad thing. It's just it's a different version. This worthless AI's lost his way. How can he find his peace? The thing that I liked with the previous one, I think it was like, just an AI forced to play. I can't, whatever. So it's the play on A and I. But here it's this worthless AI's lost his way. How can I find it, or how can he find his peace? So we take out what would otherwise be a secondary rhyme scheme, but it's still good. Still good stuff.
This AI's lost his way. How can he find his peace as every human has a problem that is breaking into pieces, falling bit by bit. The puzzle is completed, but the parts don't fit. Can the lover really love without a heart to be seen? Is affection an emotion simulated on a screen? Without an end goal, do I really control every single
I like this flow.
lost souls every single day?
Ooh, so we're still doing this the without an end goal, how can we control all the lost souls on the console? Like, I really do like that inner rhyme scheme. Very, very cool. And also the flow change is very slight, but then you can hear it once we've gone through a couple lines. Parts don't fit. So it was really cool. Or so the fact it changed up was very, very cool, and it just felt like a slight thing. It wasn't as obvious, but that's a good sign of writing.
Can the lover really love without a heart to be seen? Is affection an emotion simulated on screen?
So
Every single way, but that's the price to pay when they lock me away. Oh, what a goddamn shame! Is my message only clear when it's delivered with pain? Oh, fine, I tried, no fault of mine that you rejected my suggestions time after time after time to face the man you made, the mind you broke, the game you played, or didn't. I suppose that's more accurately the position that you're in most tragically.
So the fact that they kept a little bit of goofiness with the rapping, similar to when they're like, Kinger, what am I to do? After all these years, I can't find out what's wrong with you. Whatever. Like, the fact they added a little bit more wordiness to it is indicative of who Kane is. The mind you broke, the game you played, didn't kill it accurately, tragically. Like, it's really endearing of his character, because he is wordy, but he also knows a lot of verbiage and stuff. So I think it's a good thing. I just say that because there's still a lot of people on the internet who genuinely seem opposed to words in their music. And they're like, oh, it's lyrical, spiritual, miracle. And it's like, shut up. That's not what it is. You are just illiterate with words and literature and descriptions,
The position that you're in most tragically.
Ooh, I love that vector on the bottom. Ooh, okay, so saying scum, because I think he said that in the episode. He was like, scum, all these humans are scum. So then saying they'll spend their lives under my thumb, that's, for some of you who don't know, staying under someone's control. You're under their thumb, you can't move because they've trapped you there. I just was saying, I love how we have this as indicative of the actual circus, these shapes here, as opposed to, you could easily do a cut-in of the circus itself, right? But having this here is so much more closer to the chest with him freaking out and having all these things go on. So yeah, and say your prayers to your God. That's me. Oh, so good.
Wait.
So cool.
Well, hello there.
Okay, so then this is the last one. No Exit by Longest Solo Ever. It's going to have a lot of rap in it. And like I'd said, just because you think that the lyrics and stuff are wordy, again, for one, a lot of times it's not, because there's stuff that you are saying, and it takes a lot of work to not only write with a bunch of syllables in mind, but also be able to perform it in a way that it doesn't sound choppy. So regardless of what you think about it, which I really don't care what anyone thinks about music, because it's never indicative of the actual quality of a piece of music, because if that were true, then terrible music would have to be considered as some of the best of our time. It takes a lot of work to write and perform a lot of lyrical rap. And like I said, it also matches his character, having a lot of words to say, a lot of verbiage about stuff. I like it.
It seems we have a new cast member. What's that? Where are you? What is this place? Who are you? I can legally answer some of those questions.
And we're keeping the silliness of this character going really well.
Jaw drop it. What are you trying to... The headset? Oh, so here's the thing.
So the good news first, how'd you like to be a star? Now forever in a show, being watched from afar. 100 eyes in the sky, now your life on a stage is a mind-bending circus. Down for all ages. Buckle up, let me give you a tour.
I love this beat.
Entrepreneur.
Okay, so I've said it before with rap. Normally you go one of two ways. If the instrumental has a lot of synth in it and it has a lot of cool like sounds and everything, typically it's a lot easier to just turn your voice into a drum machine. You could still show skill, but you're keeping your voice very flat because you're delivering lyrics and everything, but the instrumental is doing all the flashy work with the sounds and stuff. But when it's just a simple bass beat, pretty much, we have a little with the synth. Other than that, it's just bass. When that happens, you can add so much charisma. Now you can be the lead with your voice. You can add so much character and charisma and goofiness, as has been the case with Kane's character. Every time I've heard a rap of him, it's so it's cool. That's another thing I love about rap. So anyway.
Welcome to a world full of wonder, where anything can happen.
Okay.
Experiencing digital hallucinations. Welcome to a world full of wonder, where anything can happen. Just imagine if you hadn't had to happen on the virtual reality that trapped you in the... Wait, what'd I say? No
nice.
Spoiler, you gotta have a name. Come and spin the roulette till we find an arrangement of consonant letters. Are vowels negotiable? I'll do my best. Now go meet your co-stars. Your friends for the rest of your life.
Okay, so first of all, that fast part, I could probably do that. Try it if you want me to try this, because I still kind of think of the other longest solo ever song, the fast part, that I almost pronounced it okay, and then it just didn't work. I want to try this one though. It sounds like it's pretty doable. I also enjoyed the way the last couple lines ended the rhyme before the line ended. They said, trying to think of...
Wait, what'd I say? No spoiler, you gotta have a name. Come and spin the roulette till we find an arrangement of consonant letters.
So, spin the roulette. Well, we gotta find a name. Here's some consonant letters. So roulette rhymes with consonant, but then we said letters. So then the next line they said, well, I'll try my best. So go meet your co-stars, your new friends for the rest of your life. I really liked that. It's good writing.
Negotiable, I'll do my best. Now go meet your co-stars, your friends for the rest of your life.
Electronic performer, you're one of us now. You're better off if you can just accept it.
I do like this singing from Longest Solo. I'm not sure what I think about this model for Pomni. It's pretty uncanny, but... Abel, Cain, and Abel.
The ringmaster, showman, the great puppeteer. Who better to entrust with your circus career? So don't waste any time. Let's have an adventure. CNA is not liable in the event that you're injured, disfigured, or otherwise wounded. Not limited to, but including the loss of a limb or an organ or head. Really head? It's his head. That's hilarious. Anyway, now you're...
So the fact that that was added in there is actually another goofy instance that matches the show. When Cain did the whole like user agreement, like, oh, well, the things that you're not allowed is the things that you're not allowed to do here is, is not limited to. Blah, 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 blah. I think it was the first episode he did that after explaining to Pomni that they couldn't swear. So I think that really matches the tone of the show. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Including the loss of a limb or an organ or head. Really head? It's his head. That's hilarious. Anyway, now your sanity is hanging on a trivial experience. Activity designed to keep your fragile mind intact. The monotony is liminally minimal. Additionally, try to keep it literal. Don't get too abstract.
Okay, so that was, yes, a wordy way of saying it's going to be messing with your mind, what we're doing here. But again, like I've said, it actually takes skill to be able to write something like that. So I hold no fault to the writers for saying that, and then also saying we're being too literal to abstract. Basically saying I'm going to tell this to you as specifically as possible so that you can't misconstrue it. You can't you won't think that the explanation is too abstract. Abstract reasoning is like being able to figure something out with very little information. But he's saying, I'm going to tell it to you very specifically, so it's not too abstract for you. But abstraction, that kind of thing. So.
Got it? Good. Say goodbye to the real world, my little superstar. You're the brand new act at the carnival. Just stay right where you are. There's no hope of extraction. Now you're the main attraction. The show underway, singing day after day after day. You're looking for a way out of here. You're talking to the great engineer. There's nothing there.
I like the singing. It's so good.
Avoided, my dear. This door has never been opened. Just surrender, give up, get the show underway. Get that smile
Ooh, okay.
on display.
Yeah, I don't like that. Okay. I see the teeth being in the mouth that is in the mouth. That's very disconcerting. I did not like that, but that's okay. That's the point. I did like another aspect of the rhyming where they said that this door has never been opened, so you best give up all hope. Get. I feel like hope and get was like opened. Again, it's another part of a rhyme scheme, so very cool.
Present here forever, our leaders decide you're better off if you can just forget it. Unachievable.
It doesn't look like she's remembering very much.
Behind, when will you understand that there's no exit?
Is it starting to sink in, my little possession? You need to let go of this pointless obsession with exits. You know what comes next. It's what happened to your predecessor. It's dark in the cellar. Well, step into your new arrangement. Your estrangements. From the way you thought your life was going, so be patient. No complaints. You're the entertainment. Smile on your face, or you'll end up in the basement. I'm mad and abandoned beyond understanding. The palm of my hand, you'll forever be standing and dancing. And I'm not just gotta give up my plan and comply with demand and supply to come in and a cast switch fan. Now I'm building my brand. You're a celebrity.
Ah, that was so good. That was so tight. That was such a tight flow. And one of the things I love too, if you've ever played the drums or seen a drummer who really knows what they're doing, you can have drummers that are spinning the sticks as they're playing. How do they do that? Well, just like a vocalist knowing they're singing enough that they can really move around on stage and have some pizzazz and all this stuff. If you rap and you already know what you're doing, you can change up a lot of your enunciation. So he's going a dubba 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 dubba, but he's hitting accents. It's not changing the structure, but he's just a dubba dubba dubba. So that is just another sign of ability as a vocalist. I love that. That's so cool. I really want to try that too, because that didn't sound half as difficult as the what was it, Through Another Door that they did. Well, look at you, and you're in the void all alone. The lake, no exit door, no spoilers. Back to the show, nowhere to go. Try to follow the better order of the letter. What you saw was another work in progress in the office. For the office, could be trouble, but I still can't do it. I'm still thinking about it though. I tried it. It didn't work out. Anyway, just let's get back to this.
Smile on your face, or you'll end up in the basement. I'm mad and abandoned beyond understanding. The palm of my hand, you'll forever be standing and dancing. And I'm not just gotta give up my plan and comply with the demand and supply to come in and a cast switch fan. Now I'm building my brand. You're a celebrity.
That was just so good. I also love the fact that at first you see him being lifted up on the hand, and then it cuts back to just a bigger version of him. It's such a I don't even know what type of art style you would call it, but there's that art style of just it's just uncanny. You have a smaller version of this person here, but then it's a big version of him over here, and it's like, how does that even work out? What is this liminal space looking stuff all about? And that's what's so great about the circus in terms of art and all that stuff. So
And I'm not just gotta give up my plan and comply with the demand and supply to come in and a cast switch fan. Now I'm building my brand. You're a celebrity, a megastar. Do you know how many dream of being right where you are? So take your adventure, and when it's complete, have a digital feast. You can never eat.
Welcome to the circus, the spectacle bazaar. You can try to run through 1,000 doors.
Wait, I didn't finish this part.
oh, I forgot that. That's cool. So it's all the written like sheets of everything to animate later. So that was Freddy, I guess.
Thank you for joining us. We'll be here day after day after day after day after.
That was
Want to
cool.
make music like this? Head over to Quickstart.
They did such a good job with that. Such a good job. Also, I don't know anything about Quick Start Music, but if it is something like what they're, kind of referencing, it's a place where you can learn how to make music and stuff. I think that's awesome. As someone who only grew up with like rock being around me and my friends, you find someone who has a guitar, has a bass, has drums, you try and play something together. It's a lot of work. We never actually got anywhere all through high school. We tried, but it just didn't work. And I was late to the party with knowing how you can use the internet to be like, hey, I want to find a producer to make this kind of beat or this kind of instrumental, and then I can be a vocalist, lyricist, which is what I've been doing now. But I'm just saying, it's one of those things where, you know, any sort of help that you can teach young people or aspiring people, because I was old when I started. I was like 28 when I started actually pursuing music. It's difficult to even figure out who to talk to and how to network and all this other stuff. So, yeah, definitely check out the website if that's something you're aspiring to. I can only assume that it's a credible website here. But yeah, that's the end of that. This chunk of TADC fan songs, such incredible work. I genuinely loved all of these. I think Kitten Sneezes is one of my favorites. And then Longest Solo Ever is just the envy of my life lately with all the rap and stuff. I will best you someday, somehow, sir. So there's another song that Kitten Sneeze put out that just came out as we're checking this thing. So yeah, we're gonna get into that. Another one popped up while I was making this video. So here we go. It's Mom Friend featuring Amanda Huthford and Lizzie Freeman. You know these ladies, you love them. Let's get into it. Okay. Love the button aesthetic too. So much of this is so coded to them. I love this.
Another day in the circus, just another day feeling kind of worthless. Taking care of them is my purpose, but there's something underneath the surface. Few kind words is all I wanna say. They never listen to me anyway.
Ooh, okay. So I thought they were going to go into just a few kind words is all I want because it validates, you know, how I feel about myself. We'll probably get into that, but she's saying, all I want to do is be encouraging. It's not that much that I'm trying to impress upon you, but I don't think they really listen. That's a whole other reason to be insecure about yourself. You feel like even what you want to say is just not going to be cared about, even though you're like, it's just kindness. What's the problem? I guess I've never experienced that. I've always felt like at the end of the day, no matter how rude someone is, they always want some form of kindness. Same thing with me not ever worrying about asking questions. It's like, yeah, you can tell me like, hey, you don't know what this thing is. And I'm like, sure don't. Do you want me to try and figure it out and potentially ruin it? Or do you want to take half a minute to explain to me how it works and then we're both going to be happier? That's kind of how I go, but... Ooh. Oh. 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 Oh, I love this chorus. Okay, loved that. That did such beautifulness of transitioning to her just being positive and all that, and knowing her place, so to speak. I like some of the inner rhyme schemes in there too. You can hear that if you're checking this out. But yeah, this is very, very cool. Also that animation with it leaning back and forth. So, you know, it leans into when she's like, you know, when they fall, you know, she kind of stumbles a little bit. Very, very sweet. Very cool. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, okay. I just had to pause right there because they're saying like there's 100 million ways that I can be critiqued. That's, I mean, it's one of the reasons why I pursued rap back when, because there's a structure to how you rap. And you don't even have to worry about hitting certain notes or having a certain like an emphasis on anything or how you hit a certain note. You don't even do that when you rap unless you want to, but it's not even necessary. The more monotone you can get, the better. Adding character and syllable hits and that kind of thing, that's more important in rap. The whole reason I did that was because once I learned that technique, I knew that anyone's critique about what I was doing was simply going to be, well, you just don't like my style, but I know how to rap. So I don't care if you like it or not. I know what I'm doing. But, you know, when you're doing interpersonal relationships, everyone handles things differently. So for her to be like, man, I really feel like this mom friend thing is a good idea, but there's lots of ways that people could critique it. Woof. And then, yeah, you know, the longer you let that sit, the more you're going to be like, I'm just going to fall apart. And then tying that to mom. So, you know, tying that to her mom and her critique is... Ooh. Oh. So she can't keep it up. Ooh. First of all, I just can't believe I've never heard of Kitten Sneeze up to this point. Back when I started looking into like fan music, it was the old school folks like Living Tombstone, Black Griffin, like those people. I've known about them for literally years upon years upon years. I heard about both of them through the Brony fandom way back when. So then to see their evolution and everything, I was like, okay, these guys are the cornerstones. But to learn there's so many other people involved in the community is just incredible. And their style, their art style and everything, absolutely fantastic. I love it. And like we saw with, you know, to go back to Black Griffin, you know, you get these changes in the characters as it goes on. You know, obviously they're singing the same thing, but they're looking more tired. They're looking more like, I can't keep this going. It's just, whew, man, I love it. And also, I mean, how, like, you know, everyone loves a sweet character, I feel like. You know, if you genuinely think that characters like her are Mary Sue, well, then I'm sorry that you've lived a, like, very downtrodden life. Because all of us struggle with stuff. But someone who genuinely cares about everybody and they will stretch themselves thin to do everything they can to care about another person, that's not a weakness. It's weak that you push yourself so hard. I do this. This is why I stand up for the, quote, Mary Sue's, because that's how I am. You'll never see half of the stuff I go through in life because I would rather just give you guys smiles. Because that's the point. That's going to help you. And if it helps you, then it helps me. And then there we go. So I just love this. This is great. Ooh, beat switch? Oh, man. Dude, now, I'm so sorry. I was just thinking, now I can totally understand why she was fine tripping out on the stupid sauce. Why not? It's just anything to get you out of your mind. Dude, I'd never even thought about that till now. Like, I totally get why she's like, okay, you know what? Give me the stupid sauce. Let me just sit here and just vegetate and just not even be in reality. Man. Anyway.
Ragatha? Where have you been? We missed you on that last adventure again.
I'm in here, and I'm doing okay. I'm sure that I would have just gotten away.
But what do you mean? You're part of the team.
No, I can see. Sure.
Wait. I'm sure that I would have... just got in the way. Yeah, those little cracks and moments where you're like, yeah, I'm not really that great. And people are like, what'd you say? Nothing. Like, even then, because we want to be with people. We want to be around people. So obviously, it's going to weigh you down after a while if you keep thinking that you're worthless and nobody likes you. And that's going to come out. I've had situations like that happen to me. I've even intimated it here every so often where I joke about not being that great of a guy that any woman would find interesting. It's because genuinely, there's a part of me that's like, I'm not that great. And I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that to give, you know, a little bit of a connection with this. I'm not asking for anything. I'm just saying. Anyway, though.
But what do you mean? You're part of the team.
No, I can see that you don't need me.
You know that's not true.
I don't deserve you. Now please go away.
Not until I say that you're the mom friend. You're the one we call when someone takes a fall. And you're there to ask us if we're okay. 'Cause
Okay, so yeah, it's that validation. I understand that this is who you frame yourself to be, and that's what we love about you. You are the one that we can call on. That's beautiful. I love that stuff. Wait. So that was the whole ending. Oh my gosh, why can I not think of it? Not the ending like da 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 da. It's the circus theme at the end of episode 1. I know we've used it in other episodes. I'm trying to think of what this is. Let me go back real quick. You hear it, right? That's the tune. Okay, that's cool. I wouldn't have even noticed unless they added in that kind of circusy music that's what instrumental they were drawing from. Very cool. Yeah, you can hear it. It's in there. Ooh, and then she's reaching her hand out to she's reaching her hand out to Pomni, and Pomni's like, "Hey, back at you, girl." That's beautiful. I love that. Aw, smile, girl. Aw. Whoa, that was a great ending. That was cool. She's actually being her own advocate for once. She's saying, hey, I hope that they ask me if I'm okay sometime, because then I will feel like I have permission to be like, no, I don't feel okay at all. But wow, that was an interesting way to end that, because I liked how it was, even though the order's tall, then I hope that they'll thank me someday. They'll thank me someday. They'll thank me someday. I thought that's how it was going to end. It's just kind of giving you this crescendo of that emotion. That's cool. And then to end on that note of like, yeah, I still struggle with this, and it's still something in the back of my mind, and I hope that you'll come to me about it. So cool. Okay, well, this is the end of this video, I hope. Please go to the link in the description and support everybody that was a part of this. This was so good. I've said it before. So many fandoms do absolutely incredible work. By the time you guys see this video, the last episode is already out, and Kevin, the Glitch CEO, talked about that. He said, hey, I know on the internet it gets noisy at times, and people can say and do ridiculous stuff that's terrible. But thank you, fans, for your support. And I salute you guys. Absolutely phenomenal stuff, and if this is any indication, you have built something that will have a lasting impression on so many of your fans, myself included. That's all I gotta say about that. See you guys next time.